Manchester United would love to take Jamal Musiala to Manchester. Who wouldn't want to take Musiala to their club? We're going to talk in this video, though, about why Manchester United want him, how Manchester United can get Musiala, and what has to happen for this to happen. It is a long shot. I have actually just put the spoiler alert up a little bit there, but Manchester United can actually make this happen. I'm going to tell you exactly how Manchester United make this happen. We have a little bit of an update on the Rabiot situation as it's developing as well right now. Obviously, a little bit of the aftermath from yesterday's action as well, and a few more opinions that have been floating around and more talk that's been going on. And of course, want to get your thoughts, your comments in on the live chat. It is full-on interactive mode right now for the show this evening. The Sunday evening show, everybody wants to be involved. First of all, before you get your comments in, actually please get your comments in, but give the video a like. Let's get as many likes as possible, and please, most importantly, make sure that you subscribe to Forever United TV, and make sure that you have hit that bell notification as well. Every subscriber makes the channel stronger, and the channel becoming stronger helps us build a better community and bring you better content along with it. It's completely free as well, so you might as well just subscribe and get to it. Get involved in the chat. Talk to me. What are you saying? First of all, where is the story coming from with Jamal Musiala? I mean, there's been a few reports going around. The MEN have covered it off of a couple of other topics and a couple of other sources as well, but the main story breaks down from Bayern Munich's situation itself with Jamal Musiala right now. 21-year-old, whom we all know who Musiala is. We all know what this guy can do. We all know the quality of the player and what he would do when bring to Manchester United or any team that he's going to. City, Arsenal, Spurs, Real Madrid, anybody who's anybody in the top tier of football is after Musiala. And there lies the problem for Manchester United. Are Manchester United currently top tier? Now, we know we've got a structure that doesn't really care about who's going in for the player. If we've got Champions League football, but I think with Musiala, this is a different story altogether. You've not got a player coming from, let's just say, for instance, Lille, with Lenny Yoro and Real Madrid and that situation. This isn't a Yoro leaving Lille, not having Champions League football and playing at a decent level sort of situation right now. This is Bayern Munich, who have got one of the best young talents in the game right now in their squad, who has got less than 2 years left on his contract. In fact, when it comes to the next summer transfer window, Musiala will have 1 year left. This is why it's realistic to look at Musiala as a possible deal. Realistic only for the big guns, I feel, because Musiala is not going to want to not be in the Champions League. Let's be honest. I feel like right now, when you look at it, you look at the situation, you look at every club that's in for him. I just think Real Madrid are in for anyone who's a big name. They will always just put their name to players. Don't necessarily mean that they're going to get him. Your realistic target for Musiala, and this is painful to say it, is Manchester City. It is. But we're all hoping, obviously, that something comes from tomorrow and we start hearing a few months down the line that Manchester City might be in trouble with the authorities and maybe a transfer ban, maybe relegation, something like that could creep in. You just don't know. So the reality is you've got a lot of moving parts with this deal in terms of the clubs that are also involved. Arsenal, I think, is a good fit in the style of play that Arteta's playing as well. But if Manchester United get it right this season, if Manchester United make their mark and actually get into the Champions League, start performing well again, then Musiala is well and truly on the table. 100%. We all know the relationship he's got with Joshua Zirkzee, best mates there. And I just feel like right now is an opportunity for all of these clubs. I'm not just saying it's United. United will inevitably be in for the best players, or at least touch base. Look, Manchester United had the chance to buy Musiala when he was 18, when he left Chelsea's academy. And again, this under the Glazer regime is another deal that's gone by the by. Just to spin off a little bit from that now, what INEOS have got in place now is a structure where we're not going to be missing out on them types of players. You're not going to get all of them, but the likes of Obi Martin, the likes of Kone from Guiders FC that we know we've just brought in, all the other younger players, Lascelles that's been brought through, United are all over these, and these are complex deals with the academy players. And as we've seen with the ratification for a few of these players, over the last few months with United bringing them in this summer under INEOS, it's not straightforward and it doesn't happen very quickly. United bowed out of the Musiala situation years ago. That was the time when he was deciding on whether to play for England or whether he's going to play for Germany. He had dual nationality. I think he's got a Nigerian-born UK living father, and that's where his nationality, and that's where he's linked to England lie. I think it's his mother's side where the German element comes in, but he was playing for England's under-18s, and then, like many other international players, when it came to the first team and playing for England's first team or whoever, he did have a big decision to go down, and he chose to go down the German route, obviously then leading to Bayern Munich snapping him up as well at the same time. And the rest is history, as they say. Taken full advantage there by Munich, and they have got, as like I just said, and as everybody agrees, one of the single best players that can play across that front line, predominantly in that sort of 10 role, hovering around the front man, picking out them holes, and he's just on a different planet. And I'm not saying that just for the sake of a video and building up what this player is. Bayern Munich rate him at 120. He probably is worth 120 million, this kid. It sounds stupid. I know it's inflated. I wouldn't pay 120 million. But when you look at what he can bring to a team and how old he is and how good he is right now, and if you see him in person and you watch this kid play, and I'm not just saying that because I've had the opportunity to be there in the stands and watch him up close and personal, he is on a Bellingham planet. He is on a Haaland, Mbappe sort of planet for me. He's in there. Obviously, the different positions and different players. But Musiala is up there at the world-class level. And maybe not complete world-class right now, but has got the potential to be the best playmaking forward on the planet. And it sounds crazy, but I put him alongside Jude Bellingham personally. From what I've watched, what I've witnessed, the way he played in the Euros as well, what he's done for Bayern Munich, and he's only 21. It's one thing you cannot forget. Like, going into next season, whoever buys him, if he doesn't sign his contract, and he could just sign a new deal at Bayern. Bayern are still confident that they can get this player signing a new deal, but he's turned another offer down from them right now, and that's why the story's there. I think the bigger picture is, and the whole story around this, we can talk up Musiala all we want. We can talk about him being that player that is going to take Manchester United to that next level and all of that. But at the end of the day, Manchester United need to be at a different level themselves. They need to be appealing to young players like this. And this is where we have fallen behind. Not just off the pitch, in like I had described then, United missing out on Musiala back in 2018 when we had the chance to get him. He was in the country. He was in Chelsea's academy. He left Chelsea's academy, and then that was the big decision moment for him. Germany or England. And United were in the reckoning. They were recommended him by the head scout at the time for Manchester United. They were recommended by the chief recruitment officer at United. But the Glazers and their brainstorming absolute, I don't know even how to describe what their recruitment setup was at the time, completely let this one go under the radar again, like with many other players that we all know have done the same thing with. And I personally now look at this and go, whereas Musiala may be a bit of a long shot for United, I'm going to hold my hands up and say, look, I just don't think United are in the right place to buy Musiala unless we turn this season around. We can turn this season around. If United get Champions League football, Musiala's on the table. He is, because we're already getting 25 million and a chunk of wages gone off Jadon Sancho when the season ends. So there's a nice little down payment straight away there. And let's not forget how INEOS operate. This will be in installments. We've done business with Bayern Munich before. If Musiala doesn't want to sign that contract, Manchester United are in a great position if we get Champions League football, because that's what I feel will attract the player. United can afford a wage package to suit where he's at right now in his development. He knows that there are players aging at Manchester United, as everyone does, that could make room for him coming through. We talked this about Angel Gomez the other day. Same scenario, except this is elite. This is pure elite player, this. And the relationship that we built up with Bayern Munich this summer. Amicable, professional negotiations to get two players out of the door there at Bayern Munich in Mazraoui and De Ligt. And this is what I meant by having a football structure in at the time. The deals that United are making and the communications that we are now having with these bigger clubs and dealing with these other clubs within Europe is building for the future as well. Because they'll now know that United coming to the table with offers are genuine offers. They're not just playing at this. And that deal, or both of them deals that United did with Mazraoui and with Matthias de Ligt, I've put Manchester United in good stead, and we're in with Bayern Munich right now. Obviously, if we are in the Champions League, it then looks down the road of them looking to strengthen a rival, because United are back in the Champions League. We all know this. Like, it changes. Like, Bayern Munich probably were happy to work with United this summer because they know they're no direct threat to the club. Whereas another Champions League club, would it have been as easy? You have to think about all of these things when you're actually looking at situations that have happened. And I do believe that there was an element of Bayern Munich looking at selling to a so-called rival, but no one who can directly affect Bayern Munich this season or in the short term. Two players that, 25 and 26, they feel like they might have had the best of. United still with plenty of time to turn these players into something themselves. It worked well for everyone. Musiala isn't going to work well for everyone because Bayern are letting go of a gem. And I feel they will throw everything at Musiala to keep him at the club. The fact that he has chose a German nationality over England in the first place would give them a bit of a head start, I feel. But the bigger picture, like I said again, building this up, is players like this don't come around that often. Not this good anyway. And if United want to be bidding for any of these types of players, not just Musiala, but players of that quality, younger players that are at that level that have developed even quicker, then you have to be at a level where it's appealing to that player to come in. I have Champions League football. He isn't going to go anywhere that's not got Champions League football. He's playing at the top level now. Obviously, he got to the semi-final. Bernabeu, minutes away from making it into a Champions League final. He's had a taste of that. There is no going back from that. And with everybody around, let's just say European football, because the rest of the world can't afford him, he knows his worth. And I feel like his representation will know his worth, and Bayern Munich will also know his worth. Now, will they cash in with 1 year to go? Are they confident that they can get the deal done? If he hasn't signed a deal this season, Musiala, and he goes into that summer having not signed that deal, then it's open season and the bids will fly. So what are we hoping for? Real Madrid already having a absolutely stacked midfield and attacking setup and lineup. He's not going to get guaranteed game time at Madrid, which is crazy. But I just don't see him moving out the likes of Bellingham and their forward line and their midfielders. They've just got too much for Real Madrid. Manchester City, you're hoping that they get the book thrown at them and they fall out of the equation completely, because they've got aging midfielders that Musiala could come in and instantly replace. You could take your pick out of a Bernardo Silva aging, Kevin De Bruyne aging, about 33 now, Kevin De Bruyne. It's set up perfect for City, and the only hope we've got is that they do get some punishment for all the 115 charges that's flying around, and that hearing that's going on that starts tomorrow. So that's the only hope there. Liverpool, we're always going to beat Liverpool. I'm not worried about them. Barcelona will never be able to afford him, and he's already coming from Bayern Munich. So it narrows it down a little bit, and it gives you a little bit of hope that we are in the race for him. INEOS are in situ, and obviously we've seen what they can do in a transfer window. I think it is down to this United team right now and performing this season and actually getting Manchester United in a good place to start appealing to these other players and giving these players something to think about as United as an option. And I feel like that is where we need to be. It's like everything that you look at. If it's not Musiala and it's all of these players, United need to be at that level where these players want to come. Like, we can get away with one season out of the Champions League and trying to attract players in. But another season, you are going to be really clutching at straws in how you get players over the line and get them into Manchester United. It's inevitable that players are going to want Champions League football. I think a lot of Manchester United's players that are in the squad right now want Champions League football. But it doesn't just come that easy. It doesn't come with a guarantee with United anymore, where it used to. And things have to change to get us there. And things have to drastically change to get us there. Or Manchester United will just trying to be finding their own talent like they are doing now. Do we want to buy Musiala, or do we want to find and develop the next Musiala? As Sir Jim Ratcliffe said in reference to Mbappe, you know what I mean. We're not going to buy Mbappe, we're going to find the next Mbappe. Is this what Manchester United are going to be doing now with the younger players that we're snapping up cheap and bringing in through our academy? Because we have got The likes of Brian Cherry, who is absolutely smashing it in the under-18s at the moment. Obi Martin to come through. Obviously, we're already seeing the likes of Wheatley break into the first team forward-wise. A few more players that are coming through as well and joining in with the first team training right now. It's going to be a whole complete different outlook for Manchester United come next season, I feel. I do think you're going to see a lot more of the younger lads coming through. And in particular, some of the lads that have been paid for and brought in this summer to go straight into Manchester United's academy players. So let's see. Like Musiala is a possibility, and it is there for United to attack if they want to. They will have to sell some players. They will have to get into the Champions League. And they will have to be prepared to spend more than what INEOS have proven so far. But Champions League money being what it is, selling players on in the summer definitely gives Manchester United the room to make a signing like this. I just feel like that 10 area isn't a United priority right now. And some of you are like, you can't say that, Adam. You can't. We need to be looking past Bruno Fernandes in the future. Eriksen's gone. We can't rely on Mount. These players, if we brought in Musiala, that's going to take us to that next level. Honestly, I'll just give my honest opinion right now. I still feel like Ten Hag won't be the manager next season, and things may change even more at Manchester United. But we will see, won't we? We will see. And it all depends, and it all comes down to how United perform this season. We need to start hitting our straps and finding a way to get back up that table. Just watch Newcastle do their thing coming from behind. I watched Aston Villa yesterday. The brand of football and the way that these teams are playing, I don't enjoy watching them more than Manchester United. I enjoy watching the style of play and the quality of football that they show more than what Manchester United do right now. It is a proper, free-flowing, just like brave sort of style of football. United just seem to be timidly creeping up to even touching that sort of level right now. And as much as I'm happy with the 3-0 win yesterday, I still look at other teams and I go, oh God, they do look like they're more advanced and miles ahead of us. And these are two teams that finished ahead of us last season. The top 3 places in the league are pretty much gone. And I'm looking at Chelsea winning, hanging on, playing a different style of football with Maresca. Sancho performing for them. I'm looking at Duran coming on alongside Watkins and everything else that Villa have got right now coming from behind, winning 3-2. Newcastle doing the same today. And I'm like, oh, God, Champions League seems a million miles away right now. And it's a must. Honestly, like, these next few games with Ten Hag, the 2 Champions League, the 2 Europa League games, they're massive. Because I don't think United have got the consistency within this squad to get in the top 4. And we should be. We spent more than anyone this summer. We should be right up there. But we're not. And that's the problem. And that's what it's always going to come back down to. Talking about Musiala has led me into this conversation of Manchester United performing and getting back up that table to be able to even be at the bidding table for the likes of Musiala. That's what it's all about. I'm going to get into some member renewals and donated and super chats. Zaim Yassi, first of all, what a masterclass. Second in the league. Masterclass second again, mate. It's a masterclass if you're winning it at the level you're at right now. So I wouldn't call it that just yet. Clever, different approach today from Arteta. At least he's showing a bit of variety, and you can't take that away from Arsenal. But yeah, comfortably in there and settled comfortably in for another race with Manchester City, I feel. And that was without their big guns in midfield as well. So yeah, credit to them. If we get Musiala, then we have to sell Bruno, and we just gave him a new contract, says Mark Lambridge. Yep, if, buts, maybes. A lot has to happen to get Musiala. Like I said, Champions League money and Champions League offering in terms of for the player need to be there more than anything, mate. We can't even think about bringing Musiala in unless we've got Champions League football. And London has just donated a membership as well. And that has gone to... where is that gone now? Sorry, I've just lost that. It's gone to Sim. Welcome to the Members Club, my friend. Please make sure that you are subscribing. Make sure you give the video a like. It is all completely free content. Show your appreciation by liking the video and hitting that subscribe button as well. Completely free content every single day. live 3 times a day through the week and at least twice in the weekends on a Saturday and Sunday, along with the game action on game day as well. As you've seen yesterday, a bit of variety in the content yesterday, which is good to hear a few different voices. And I feel like most of the United fan base are now looking ahead to this week as like, let's see some new faces again in that team against Barnsley. In fact, who do you want to see? Like, who are the key players that you want to see? Are they youth players or are they reserve players? I'm thinking here now, you've got to be looking at the likes of, against Barnsley, maybe Xerxes starts because he needs a bit more game time, or does someone like Wheatley come in? Do we have Garnacho and Anthony on either flank? Do we put a midfield in there of Casemiro because he's not played a game for over 2 weeks? Does Casemiro go in? Agate go in? Does Ericsson play again? Is he going to play Bruno because he's the captain? Do we see Collier come in defensively? What is it? Maguire, Evans? Do we see... I don't think we'll see Luke Shaw come in. Harry Mass, like Welsh Red just said there at the bottom, does he come in to the team? There's loads that Manchester United can do with this game. And I really do hope that United, who, let's not forget, in a friendly as well, our under-21s beat Barnsley's first team a couple of weeks back, which nobody really knew about. So that kind of tells you exactly where the levels are. Ten Hag, there is no need to be playing first-team players. You're talking about rotating a squad. You're talking about resting players. You're talking about worries of injuries and overplaying players. I expect at least 9 changes from the weekend in that game on Tuesday night against Barnsley. And we will still win that game. And you will look like a manager that is really taking this season seriously then. Playing a first team against Barnsley does not warrant Manchester United taking the season seriously. It's the complete opposite. For me, it's changing it up. Minimum 9 changes. Bayindir plays. I want to see Maguire. I want to see Evans. I want to see Harry Mass playing. Who you play on right back, I'm not too sure right now. Maybe that is one of the other changes you don't make in keeping Dalot because he is that ever-present player. Will he play Bruno? He could change up all of the defence, all of the front line, and all of the midfield. And I still think you've got more than enough to beat Barnsley. And it's a great opportunity to see some of these fringe players / youth players coming through and staking their claim. I think it's the best opportunity he's going to get. Like, seriously, you need to, I feel, like, you get through this, like, so you play this youth team, you play the reserve players, you beat Barnsley. Doesn't matter what the result is. Everyone will just give you that free pass anyway because you're trying to rest players and maintain that squad. And then you're going into Crystal Palace with loads of options. You're giving some players a bit of game time in the Barnsley game who maybe sat on the bench or in the matchday squad going into the Crystal Palace game at weekend. You've got the buzz and the high of the Southampton performance for the players that perform well in that. And you're going into next weekend in a very, very difficult game against Crystal Palace away in a completely different mindset. And I feel like that is massively important for United right now. So, yes, I do believe that while we're talking about Musiala at the start, could Manchester United utilise this season with the amount of games that we've got to blood our own superstar coming through the ranks? We've just brought through Garnacho and Mainu. Can we find another one this season? Have we got it in the likes of Kone? Could Kone come in and play for Manchester United in the midfield? Yes, of course he could. I feel like he's probably going to give... Do you feel like we should play Agate in that game on Tuesday night, everyone? Just something I was thinking about earlier on. Do you feel like, just to give him a bit of game time, introduce him to Old Trafford in not so much of a high-pressure game, like ease him in? What do you reckon? And... personally, I think I would actually. I think I would play him and give him a bit more game. Maybe play him for an hour. And then playing Tuesday for an hour, 4 days rest, Saturday evening kick-off against Crystal Palace. I think he's ready. I think that's sensible. I do. I would also be giving, I don't know, can you play Casemiro at 8 against Barnsley? You might get away with it there. Look, rotate it. Just play the players in there. Honestly, you could play... a number, but you could play Collier there. There's plenty of options there and chance to mix up youth with experience and players that really need game time. And I think it'll do the power of good for Ten Hag to mix it up and show a few other players some game time. because it will just get them more involved and it will make them feel like they've got a chance. And you know what? When you're bringing players on off the bench on a weekend when it's not quite going right, and you've got a squad of players there that have had a little bit of a taste for it and they want more, and they want to give Ten Hag that little bit more because they think they've got an opportunity to make it in the first team, you see the reaction from them players when they go out on the pitch off the bench and how much effort they give. It's a different level altogether. So, yes, I would definitely be playing the likes of Collier, Agate. I would be giving Hamas a chance. Maybe Wheatley. That's one I'm not thinking. Does Xerxes need more game time? If he bags a couple of goals, it could really boost his confidence. It could really give him that sort of impetus to go forward and say, right, okay, now I'm ready for Crystal Palace even more. Link-up play was good against Southampton yesterday. Yes, levels, Southampton are shit, and you really have to beat that team being that poor, but still starts to learn and link up a little bit, and he starts to develop a bit more, and his confidence getting more and more and more, then yeah, let's just look at it that way. I feel like that is important as well, to give players that chance to build up. Adam, we are miles and miles off competing at the top tables in football. We need a reality check. New manager and another 5 painful years and serious money. No, I disagree, Tim. I disagree. I think this team can compete for top 4 at least and then move on from there. That's what we're looking at right now. Top 4 gets you Champions League football. And then it's open to anything. Because United, as we know, can beat anyone on the day. We did it last season. United just need to get consistency in the league. And I think we have got enough players in this squad to get top 4. Whether or not Ten Hag is the manager at the end of it. Look, I said I expect Ten Hag to be here the full season. I looked at the fixtures. I've looked through them all. And to get to December, Ten Hag will do that usual. Worst case scenario, United will lose a couple of games. Everyone will be saying that, he's got one more game to save his job again. Then he'll win a game because it's an easy game. Get another little game in the cup and win that. And he'll just do enough to keep his head above water like last season. The question is that good enough for INEOS? Is that good enough for INEOS? And then it's up to them to make that decision. Because that's what will happen this season. Don't expect Manchester United to be playing brilliant football. We're still trying to find it under Ten Hag, which I really hate to admit because my standards are not there. I expect something to be happening now. I expect United to be in the top 4 this season. And he's gone otherwise. The only saving grace he's got is that Europa League competition. That's it. Otherwise, he's out the door. Is he going to prove us all wrong? Well, there's a lot of people that think he is the right man. I disagree with all of them. I've just seen nothing from Ten Hag that convinces me he is the right man for United to be competing at that high level, which you all say, well, not all of you, but most of you saying United are miles off. I get it. I think we are miles off competing for the title. But that can be turned around in 3 years. 100%. We have got a good nucleus of a squad. We need to figure out how to get the best out of it. And I do believe it is all down to the system. It is. And a couple of signings here and there. Like we said, we've got to get Agate bedded into this team, which will do us good. Lenny Yoro, when does he come in? If Luke Shaw comes back, United could be going out in January buying another left back as well because we have got money. And then you go into next summer. If United somehow by hook or by crook manage to get the Champions League, then it opens up a world of options for United to move on from there. But look, we will see how Ten Hag copes this season. I think it's going to be a big 2 months for him. I stand by what I said. I do believe that Ten Hag will get the full season because of the way that the fixtures are planned out and because we have got Europa League football still there and an opportunity to get back into the Champions League through that. I think that we will be getting more of Ten Hag than what people expect. And the only thing that's going to change that is if INEOS changed tact from what was the norm with United, that being, will Ten Hag, if it becomes mathematically impossible to make the Champions League, be sacked? Because if he is underperforming for United, under the old regime, he would have got away with it. Under this one, it's the unknown still. We don't know where we're at with INEOS. We don't know if we are going to pull the plug. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not fully convinced by yesterday, as you all know. I've been getting loads of stick for being honest. about my opinion on the game yesterday. People telling me, Jesus, Adam, are you ever happy? Look, I'm happy all the time, but people will pick out what they want to pick out of your opinion. That's just the way it is on social media, I'm afraid. And I've learned to live with that. I give Ten Hag praise, I slag him off. I give every player praise, I slag them off. I say what I see, and it's always going to be the same. If you don't like honest opinion, then this probably isn't the channel for you. But most people do come here because we cut through the crap and we just say it as it is. And I believe that Ten Hag will be here all season. After all of that, I do. I just think that it's set up for him in a way where he is a cup manager and he has got a chance of winning the Europa League. And you will not be able to sack a manager that has won you 3 trophies in 3 years. And that last trophy has brought Manchester United back to the Champions League again. If he goes out the Europa League and it looks like he cannot make top 4, then Ten Hag's a goner. I'm convinced of it. But he will be here at least till April. That's my bet. Right now, that's my bet. You can clip it up all you want. Do you know what? The people that actually slag me off for having a go at Ten Hag all the time will disappear from this video because I've actually said something that is more of a positive note on Ten Hag. But I said it on United View with Flex and the boys and everybody the other week. I do believe that he will get at least to April, because that's when I feel like United will come up against bigger opposition in the Europa League and probably be out. But while he's in that competition, I still believe that Manchester United won't pull the plug. INEOS won't pull the plug on Ten Hag. I do. Right, let's get into your chat on everything. I've seen loads of different varieties of comment coming through right now. Andrew Ellis says, Adam is right though. Performance was shocking yesterday up until the penalty save. It was piss poor. It really was. And then we turned into the Man United that we know we can be because we go in front. That's what happens. When we're in a game and it's a battle and it's close and there's a lot on the line, Manchester United usually turn up. We do. It just takes that sort of level and that moment to actually get more out of United. It's like, I think we used to say it on the Fergie sometimes, like sometimes Fergie's teams just woke up completely. And when we went behind, that's what it was, I thought. And it was always like that on the Fergie. Right now, it just reads, for me, United need to be facing like the end before we actually turn up and surprise everyone, because that's what happens. You can't be convinced by beating favourites for relegation. No, Lee, you cannot. Babs is in there as well. I also think Erik ten Hag will be with us by the end of the season regardless, says Babs. Wonder why that is. Elaborate on that, please, Babs. I want to know why. You put a decent manager in charge of this team and we are 100% playing better football, says Welsh Red. Completely giving up on Ten Hag, it would seem there. FB Music, Erik ten Hag, too busy taking notes than watching and coaching during the games. People start picking up on small little traits of Ten Hag are usually the ones that I've given up on Ten Hag doing anything right. I honestly don't know what he's writing down in them little books that he's got in his pads. I would love to see, like, I'd seen the emotion of Ruud van Nistelrooy yesterday. It was enough for me, like, just seeing that, like, that gave me a little bit of confidence, but still, I don't personally feel like he is, like, listening to the other coaches. It still looks like Ten Hag football. Nothing has changed in these first 4 games for me from last season still. It's still the same team. It's still the same style of football. Yeah, different faces here and there, but everything and the way that the games go and the way the games develop is still exactly the same. Tim Garrett says, INEOS will find a way to bring in Southgate, I'm telling you. And we are doomed, aren't we? Director of Football says, if Erik ten Hag doesn't use his veto rights to get Rabiot, he shouldn't dare to speak about injuries. I don't think trophies will mean a thing. Top 4 are not scrapped comfortably past the 5th. He's done. Yeah, on Rabiot, his mum has come out and said he will definitely not be going back to Juventus. I don't know where he's going to go. I really don't. Like, there's still some sources saying that Rabiot could end up at Manchester United. I still don't see United going for Rabiot. I think they would have already done it. I'm going to stand by that. I'll be surprised if they did. I just feel like right now they've probably got a team there that they want to integrate youth from and bring that through, rather than go out and buying someone that's just going to be in the way. I said this in another video. I don't want to go on about it too much, but that's the update on Rabiot, by the way, for everyone. Simon Herron says, we weren't good playing against relegation fodder. Also, a man down. Happy we won, but that's about it. Palace game has got nightmare written all over it, unfortunately. Them coming from 2-0 down to come back against Leicester is probably the last thing United needed going into that game. A little bit of a confidence booster for them. It looked like it was going to be doom and gloom occasion for Crystal Palace going into this game. Losing to Leicester would have been a disaster for them, but they scraped a 2-2 draw and give them a little bit of life again. And we all know last season that Crystal Palace did the double overalls. We didn't even score. We lost 5-0 on aggregate home and away to Crystal Palace last season, so we know our record against them is not easy. It's like I said, like Barnsley is important. Keep the momentum going. Bring in some players that haven't had the right amount of game time. Get them on board, because you're going to need the squad. You're going to need to probably make changes to dictate how that game goes against Crystal Palace. So, giving a few other players a bit of game time, we will beat Barnsley on Tuesday. Even if we have got 9 changes on the pitch, we will still win. And hopefully that gives them players the confidence to then go into the matchday squad against Crystal Palace and be ready to go, like I said. Sanil says, had that penalty gone in, we would have lost that game 1-0. A lot of people have said that. I don't even think about what it would have been like if Anana didn't save the penalty. Welsh Red says he keeps writing stick together and bounce back on that little pad. What's the plan? I've never had so much hatred for one man than Erik ten Hag, says Andrew. That is deep, Andrew. Great video as always, Adam. United moving in the right direction. Might take 2 to 5 years, but we will be back on top. I like that optimism, I do. I have to be real with where we're at right now, though, and that's where my head is at. Like, the reality tells me that we're not going to be challenging for what we think United should be if Ten Hag is the manager. I just don't see him turning it around. I hope he does. I really do. Like, your head tells you no. Your heart tells you, please, turn this around. Turn it around. But 4 games in, and you tell me what's different. Tell me what's different from what we've seen last season. Apart from United having a comfortable 3-0 win, but, yeah, like you said, a crap side, 10 men in the end. Ugh. I want more. I'm sorry. Mark with a super chat. Cheers, Mark. Says, sometimes make me laugh. If we win, it's not enough. If we draw or lose, sack the manager. If we get to the final of a cup, I expect the ground to be empty. It's not that, Mark. Appreciate the super chat, mate, but it's a reality. Like, everyone says it as it is. You can't deny we won the game yesterday and everyone's happy. But what's being picked out of it is the negative side, which is the honest side. And people having a go at everyone's so-called negative look on yesterday are the ones that are probably more negative than everybody else. I'm not saying that's entirely your message there, Mark, but I do feel it's easy for people to pick out on other fans negativity in certain parts. These fans are just giving their opinion on what's happening right now. And nobody can tell me that you are enjoying watching the football that we're playing. Look, we all want United to turn it around. And yesterday we were praising Rashford. We were praising the link-up with Xerxes. We're talking about De Ligt, a new signing, getting his debut, integrating Agate. Has one person come back and commented or sent me a message about them remarks that I made yesterday? No. Everybody else chose to go in on the negative side of things, which is what is happening. Everything is real. The comments about Agate seamlessly coming in, Xerxes improving, a goal for De Ligt, Rashford's first goal in Yonks, all of them positives, fuck that, let's push them aside. Let's pick out everyone's comments about the negative side of things and then blame them for being negative, when really it's the people picking out the worst bit of everyone being honest and assessing what happened yesterday and putting that out there. So who is really to blame within the fan base? Because honest fans deserve as much of the say as the so-called blind faith fans, as we call them, that won't see anything bad. Yes, we are supporters. We've got to get behind the team, but we are like invested into Manchester United. We are mentally invested into them. They control our lives. It does feel like that way for me, and I know a lot of other people feel that way as well. We are financially invested into Manchester United. You cannot say that any one fan's opinion isn't valid. Everyone's his opinion, and we can all talk about it. It's like Mark bringing up that now, and everyone else. It's not just Mark. There's a few other people. Like, I'll get it now. Like, no one will come on and tell me face to face and say that I'm negative. They'll just pick out something that I've said within a video and then pin that up as like the big issue. It's not. Like, honestly, he's everything on this channel, and you're not going to get it any other way. I just feel like some people want to hear the negative, so they've got someone to blame for how everything else is going wrong. And that is how I see it happening right now within this fan base. Alfie says, hey bro, hope you're doing okay. I really don't think a lot of these comments are from true United fans, bro. Can't believe people are mad because we won. Well, thanks to free Wi-Fi. We blame it on no IQ. This is what I mean, Alfie, that straight off the back of Mark's comment there. Look, every single fan that's in here is a true Manchester United fan. I'm not going to have anyone say that they're not a United fan because they've got an opinion about something. No one's got God-given right to be the ultimate Manchester United fan or claim to be the biggest Manchester United fan. I like shows like this when people come in and say things like this because I don't think they see the other side of it as well. And it just depends. Like, I think it's a generational thing as well. A lot of fans actually remember what Manchester United were like and what they stood for. And this is why I've praised INEOS so much over the summer, because they are trying to bring Manchester United back and bring them standards back up, because they have been lowered. And you cannot say that they've not. And it's frustrating when the prices go up and everyone's spending more and more money trying to watch United and we're getting zero back. Like, the entertainment level at Old Trafford is probably the worst in the Premier League for the money that you're paying, that is. I'm not saying we're the worst team. Don't quote me and turn that into a negative, whatever you do. But you know what I'm saying, like, for the amount of money that we spend, we're not getting value for money, are we? We're not, and we haven't for a while. I'm not just saying this is just because of the last 3 years. It's been the same before Ten Hag. It's just been on and on and on at United, and INEOS are actively trying to change that, and hopefully Ten Hag gets on board with it. Hopefully he can cling on to this positive vibe from above and actually start changing things up on the pitch, because the style of football isn't good enough for this fan base. And I do think that we will get improvement over the next 3 years from United. We have to. It's impossible not to succeed with the structure that's being put in and the investment that's going into Manchester United now. It really isn't. Thank you for all your comments coming in on that one as well. Adam, dead right. Thank you. Dairy Farm Cow. More good than United players. That's comments going in there. So I sometimes just read out random comments and they're in a completely different conversation to what I'm talking about. Adam, I think people are thinking Erik ten Hag will go, but under INEOS, no, Erik ten Hag is being given a chance, but for how long will it happen? Again, goes back to what I said earlier on. If Ten Hag cannot make the Champions League, I think he's off. He's off. INEOS coming out and saying, look, it doesn't matter about the trophies and things like that and identity. Some people seen that as Ten Hag getting a free ride to the end of the season. I've seen it as the complete opposite, because the one thing United haven't got is an identity, a style of play that everyone can sort of latch on to and understand. There isn't. That's not there. Like, winning trophies isn't everything, but what INEOS can always come back on is that Ten Hag brand of football isn't what Manchester United or isn't what they want. It isn't good enough. And it's definitely not good enough to win the biggest prizes right now. Will he change? Will he change? That's the biggest question out of all of this. Because even the most hardened Ten Hag fans cannot tell me that you are worried about the way that United play. Yes, the results, you've got all of that there. It is there, and I cannot deny it. Like, 2 trophies, it's there. It's in front of you. Like, there'll be teams in this country, in this league, in fact, that would kill to have what Manchester United fans have had and cheer on over the last couple of seasons under Ten Hag. Like, final after final after final, and going far in all the cup competitions. It's brilliant. It is. But Manchester United need to be in the other two competitions. We can't ignore them. And I think 3 years for Ten Hag is enough to say, look, you give it a go. You got 2 trophies. Well done. If it hasn't improved this season, then I think INEOS will. I think this is what they will be saying anyway amongst them, saying that this is what will happen come the end of the season if it isn't. But, hey, let's see. There's always a chance. There's always a chance Ten Hag can turn it around. There's always a chance that this team can start playing that football. I do believe that we have got players in this squad that can play quality football. I've seen it. I've seen these very players actually turn it out on a day. Like, we know they've got the quality. Can this coaching setup get the mentality right in these players? That's what's important. Like, the mentality. You don't always have to have a brand of football. It doesn't always work out. City scrapped over the line against Brentford because, you know what? It's hard to play that perfect game every week. But when you've got a winning mentality, you'll always find a way to get over the line. And that's the difference between the winners and the consistent winners and the spot winners, as I call them, like here and there on certain occasions. Next signing needs to be a first pick left back, but before then, Amas needs to play in the cup games and perhaps get a couple of league starts. Dalot and Mazraoui need to compete at right back and rotate. James says, Musiala already has 2 ex-Bayern mates and Xerxes at United. United are building a great young team and academy. Why go to dodgy deals and bought and paid for fake state-funded plastic club like City? James, go on, son. Get in there. I like it. United Spotlight says that there is no sign of Erik ten Hag changing. I think we all hoped for that start this season, and it hasn't happened. He won't change now, or if he does, it will be already too late. If he does change right now, so if you're not a Ten Hag fan, and he changes now, when he turns the season around, like I said, it's still early days. Let's not say he turns the season around. Let's just say that the style of football starts to get better. Manchester United, you can see a style, you can see an identity within Manchester United, and it becomes more obvious, like INEOS have said, and what they've come out with, reported to be said, in that United have a clear sort of way of playing. And he turns it around in a season. I don't think anyone's going to say, look, too late, Eric. No, he's the Man United manager right now. And if he turns it around, I'm not going to stand there and say, oh, because of what I said before, I still don't want Ten Hag. Look, he needs to show significant change. Don't get me wrong. If he takes me back a little bit and actually convinces me, surprises me, in fact, that he has got something more to give, then I'm not going to say that just because of my opinion, like say for now, for instance, and because I've said that he's not the right man, I'm not going to stand there and say that he can't go on. Like, look, we're all here to be proved wrong, because at the end of the day, we just want Man United to win. And if it is under Ten Hag, so be it. If it's not, then he's not done it, has he? Look, either way, United will make the big decisions. INEOS will make sure that Manchester United move in the right direction. They're not going to stand by and just let United fester in this sea of standard, poor, average crap that we have been over the last decade. They won't let it happen. And that's what we need to always remember. It's a different run football club now, and things will change. INEOS need to be targeting the best young manager talent in the world, like Iriola, Girona, and Coach Motta. Does anyone think Ruud van Nistelrooy gets a better tune out of this squad? Any manager could get a better tune out of Manchester United, but you don't know until they're in. Like, anyone could do it. Ten Hag could probably do it. Ten Hag could probably still get a tune out of this Man United squad. You just don't know. You don't know. I think the stubbornness and is it arrogance, stubbornness with Ten Hag? I just don't. Like I said, I'm always trying to convince myself that we can get different style of football with Ten Hag, but I always look at them when United start playing, and it just convinces me that we're not going to see it. But hey. There, your updates, everybody. That is the end of the show. Brilliant comments tonight. Love that, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We have 232 likes. Can you please give the video a like on the way out? Let's get that up to 250. And please also, as well, there is a handful of tickets left. I'm probably going to announce the winner of the competition we was running, which is this signed Wayne Rooney shirt. Also within the same draw, a signed Cantona, Sheringham, Berbatov and Robin Van Persie shirt. I've got 5 extra tickets to someone that hits me up on Forever United TV's Twitter account. DM me with proof that you've bought 1 ticket to be in the draw when everything is finished and all the tickets are sold on this competition. Be in with a chance of winning an extra 5 to give yourselves a better chance of winning one of these amazing prizes. 5 legendary Manchester United forwards right there up for grabs. The link is in the description, guys, to go on it and buy your ticket. I think when I last checked, there was only 9 tickets left. So when all them 9 have gone, I'll have a look if anyone has DM me with proof of their 1 ticket, and then I'll do a draw. I'll probably announce it tomorrow and find out, because I think the draw for the shirt will be tomorrow live on our partners Football Prizes Facebook page. So yeah, we'll do that then, and let's see what happens tonight. So just DM me on Twitter with proof that you have bought 1 ticket and being with a chance to win an extra 5. And that is us all finished, everyone. Thank you so much, mods, members, people in the chat, super chats. Love that. Great comments as always. Love the Sunday show. Back tomorrow morning, Monday, 8 a.m. with fresh week, looking ahead to what is going to be a very, very busy week for Manchester United. But for now, thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of what's left of the weekend. I'll see you all tomorrow.